Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna give you a little quick tip that really helped me when looking at planets and how well they're able to do their jobs. So in traditional astrology, they use this concept known as dignity and debility. And dignity basically means strength and debility kind of means weakness. But in modern astrology, because we kind of like to keep things pretty positive and we don't really like to be like, hey, like you have these weak ass planets. We don't really like to do that to people because it is limiting. But when you learn more about traditional astrology, you're really able to see that a weakened planet can sometimes become a strength. It just depends on where it's located and what it's doing in the chart. But nonetheless, I think that it's really important to really know the strength of our character, the strength of our planets, so that we can lean on those strong planets and kind of strengthen our weaker planets and try to see in what ways we could strengthen those weaker planets. And we really can't do that if we don't really take stock of what our chart has to offer us. So in order to do that, I think it's really important to study the dignities and debilities of our chart. So first of all, what does it mean? Which planets are dignified? So to begin, the dignified planets are those that are either in domicile, so that means that they're at home, they are in the signs that they rule, and they could also be in the signs that they're exalted. Those planets that are in the signs that they rule or in the signs that they are exalted, that means that they have dignity. So what does that mean? What does dignity really mean? Dignity means that the planet is able to do whatever it's supposed to do very easily. And where it's gonna do that, you guessed it, it's in the houses, right? So let's just say you have the moon in Cancer in the first house. So right off the bat, it's in the first house. It's an angular house. So that means that those are the very visible places of your chart. So the moon is in domicile, it's at home in Cancer. So that means that it's gonna be able to do Cancer things very easily, right? So it's in domicile, so that means it's strong, right? So that's a good thing, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? So if you answered yes, if you think it's a good thing that the moon is at home, it is good that it's at home, but that might not necessarily be a good thing if it's in the first house. Why? Because if you have very intense feelings, Cancer moon, you might not want to display those feelings at work, for example. That might not be a positive thing for you to have in the first house. So you see how that shows that even though it's in domicile, it's strong, it's at home, it's able to do things easily. Shouldn't that mean that it's a strength? Well, it doesn't always have to be a strength. So that's why you really have to take stock and assess what your planets are doing. I'm gonna probably put up a table of the dignities and debilities here, but all you should do is just Google dignities and debilities in astrology, so you're able to see which planets of yours are dignified and which ones are weakened or in debility. So now let's talk about debility and what that means. So let's take the sign, the planet Venus. So the planet Venus is at home in Libra and it's exalted in Pisces. So that means that when it's at home, it can very easily do what it wants. It's like a king in his castle. And when the planet is exalted, it's like a really honored guest. So pretend that it's the kingdom and the one that's in domicile is at home. It can very easily be like, I need this done, I need that done. He just orders people around like a king or a queen would. But if it's exalted, that's even a step above, because think about it, like the king has a really honored guest. So he's gonna have all the servants like, hey, get all this stuff done for my guest. It's my royal guest. So that means that that planet could be a little bit full of themselves. You know, they could be even higher than a king or a queen because they're a little bit spoiled, because they could get whatever they want very easily. So let's talk about where would that be good? So in the chart of Justin Bieber, I just looked at it. He has Venus exalted in Pisces in the 5th house. So the 5th house is the house of love affairs. It's the house of passion. It's the house of sex. Creative self-expression also lands in the 5th house. So for an artist, that is really positive. That's a really positive thing. So that's an example of how an exalted planet could be good, right? In the 5th house, it's good. But let's just say you have, that same Venus, it's at home in Libra, but it is in detriment whenever it's in Scorpio. So why? Well, Venus is supposed to be lighthearted. Venus is supposed to just, chit chat here and there, not get too very deep. And Scorpio is a really deep sign. So that doesn't really work well together. So people with Venus in Scorpio, small talk might not be very easy for them because Venus is the planet of small talk. Venus and Mercury, right? So Venus in Scorpio doesn't want to small talk. Venus in Scorpio wants to talk about your greatest fears and your greatest sufferings in life. So that might not be the most appropriate thing for the first time you meet somebody. So you can see how that isn't necessarily a positive thing. But let's just say you have Venus in Scorpio in the third house. So what does the third house talk about? The third house has to do with your communication style, your education. So this could be a person who writes about Venus and Scorpio things. The third house also rules writing. Let's just say you have Mercury there too, if you want to be extra. So that person could, dedicate their life. Let's just say that Venus is aspecting the ruler of the midheaven or something. So that person could really dedicate their life to talking about Venus and Scorpio things. And for some reason, people seem to love Venus and Scorpio things. Like You, that show, that really dark romantic show that people really were into. There's a lot of these things that are Venus and Scorpio that people are really into. So somebody who might have that in the third house would benefit from that in a sense. So that's it, guys. Just remember that you really want to assess, remember that your planets, your planetary family, they're your guys, they're your guys in the sky who are trying to help you, do your thing. They're trying to help you meet that midheaven goal that you have, the highest achievement that you want to make in your life. So how are they doing this? Are they helping you? Are they, are they exalted? Can they get things done very easily for you? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What house are they in? Who are they, who's helping them out? Remember that the aspects show you how those planets are interacting with each other. So let's just say that they have a support from Saturn. Let's just say your exalted Venus in Pisces has a positive trine from Saturn. So that means that Saturn, the grandpa, kind of likes that Venus and is going to help that Venus out. So where is he going to help that Venus out? What house is it in? So just take stock of your planets and what they're doing in your chart. What signs are they in? How happy are they in those signs? How easily can they get their jobs done? So that's the video for today, guys. If you like these kind of informative videos, please give me a thumbs up so I can know that you want to see more videos like this. If you have any questions about this and you want to ask me, just put it in the comments. And if you're not subscribed, I suggest you do that. I put out astrology videos every single week, and I will see you in the next one.